Perfect. Have you ever started recording?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So welcome, you guys. I am so freaking excited about this one because Angie was the person that I watched literally, and I was in my office, my corporate job office, and I was watching how she signed up her mom and her husband to go Emerald. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is going to be it. And so as simple as that sounds of how it happened for me, I want you guys to understand that the simplicity of going Emerald and starting your business really comes down to the mindset. And that's what we're going to do for you guys. And so we're in here, we're just going to share the goods. We're going to talk about conversations. We're going to talk about how the heck Mrs. Angie went Emerald first, how it all started, because it starts here. So I want Angie to take it away first, and she's going to give kind of her story and how she goes, and then kind of walk through some things, and then I'll give you guys some conversation tips and just give you the goods. So let's just kick it off. You guys have an open mind, but also have fire in your little tush and get ready to go.
I love that. And can I say, if you're multitasking during this, just take the time, for your business. I often see people multitasking during these calls, which is fine. I'm a multitasker during audiobooks, but I feel just out of even how much prep it takes for these calls, Mandie and I have been prepping this. She put a ton of work into the slides and the conversations for this, and literally to give you the gold. So just out of that respect, give it all of your attention, but also out of what you're going to get out of it. There's no way you're going to retain stuff if you're not taking notes. Smart people take notes. Tony Robbins taught me that. So I know Mandie just kind of filled my head up with a bunch of air. Thank you, Mandie. But you guys, this time a little bit more than a year ago, a smidge over a year ago. Mandie was an Emerald coach. She came to Ottawa, Canada to visit Andre and I, and she said the following: I don't know if I'm as good as the other people here, and I don't know if I'm deserving to be at this retreat. And I just thought, are you crazy? And here we are, you don't know. And she had two coaches at the time, which I'm guessing was Danae and your mom, or your best friend and your mom. Anywho, so we all go through the whole negative spin cycle in our heads. And I think that it's really easy to look at a coach that has achieved the things like Mandie. Mandie's going to go into bazillion star diamond qualifying in a couple of weeks, which is insane. She's probably going to outrank me dead. And, it's really easy to look at a top 10 coach or a coach that you see speak on the National League of Call or on the team calls, and you're like, I can't do what they're doing. But you didn't know them when they were in the beginning. They're exactly where you are. And that's the thing. So I literally made a list so that we could laugh at me of all of the things that I sucked at, all the ways that I sucked as a new coach and how I got to Emerald. So I want you guys to know I didn't hit Success Club in my first month. I didn't hit Success Club in my second month. I didn't hit it in my third month. I didn't even make a sale, at all. I decided in 3.5 months into my business that I was going to do something. And that's when I signed up my husband. Everyone kind of has their spouse, I guess, on a contingency waiting, and you almost need that other person to go Emerald. So I thought, I'm going to call the scariest person that I know, who's my mom, biggest naysayer. She's in law, so she was not all about the whole randomly signing up for something and using a SID number and all that stuff. And I still convinced her. So I always use as an example, if I could sign up the scariest person in my life that I just want to make proud, anyone can do this. And it really was, for me, that first dip in the pond. I was like, okay, I can do this and I've got this. And then I was like, it's on to diamond and on to 2-star. And it wasn't ever about just staying put at that. It wasn't a pit stop. It was let's keep going. It was a speed bump in the road. Let's keep going. So it was a little high five to Angie, and I kept making it happen. But I want you guys to know I didn't hit Success Club in my first month. I didn't sign anyone up. I didn't have Facebook. I was one of those people that was oh, I need Facebook. Okay, I'll open up a Facebook fan page and a personal page. And I did that. I had 100 followers on Instagram, and I would get around 1 like because I wanted to give you guys visuals, and I was I'm going to go back and see my Instagram in the beginning. That's how bad it is that I didn't want to share it with you guys. So if you really want a good laugh, you guys can go back. It's awful. Ask Andre. I was literally rolling my eyes. I'm I can't share this with them. It's embarrassing. And I still, though, and I said to him, and he said at the same time, I said, you know what, though? It's still schooling some people on the team because I was showing up. So yes, it was awful. Yes, the posts were brutal, but I was there. So I once, I remember Danae had said this on a call. If you go to do a challenge group invite or a coach invite, it means nothing if you haven't been sharing it for the past couple of weeks. So I had been sharing my journey. I had been doing that. So when I did decide to share a transformation, which was one of the ways that I sucked, it took me so long to share a transformation. It took me so long to be okay with sharing that I was a coach. I will be honest, I was embarrassed. I didn't know what people would say. And my big limiting belief was I thought people were going to be like, oh, what's Angie doing now? What's she into now? So I didn't have a ton of followers. I was shy. I would turn red at the drop of a pin. I couldn't do video because I would get really, really nervous and I would say all the time. And so I had to get better at that. I waited a really long time to share my before and after picture. I thought that I needed a website. So that held me back a lot. And still to this day, I'm like, website not really usable. So I want you guys to know that all of the things that you think that you need to do to be perfect, you don't. You're just like everyone else that gets started. We all start at ground zero. And the biggest thing for me, and this is the part that I want to talk to you guys about, I avoided inviting my friends and family completely. I went on to Instagram to basically hide. And I started sharing my journey there. At least I shared, though I will say I did more than the average bear by sharing, but I avoided my warm market completely because my family's scary. Everyone's family is scary. You don't want them to judge you. You don't want your friends to judge you. I had some friends block me. I went through all of that. And I just want you guys to know, here I am 5 years later and I'm just fine, and my mom is super proud, the person that was like the most skeptical. And I still have those people that are skeptical to this day. So it won't ever go away. It's up to you to move past it and to grow past it and to not let that stupid limiting belief. And I'm telling you, 5 years later, if you've made it into the Million Club and you're in the top 10, you're not going to really think that it was worth your delay of your success to make that person's opinion such a big factor in the success of your life. So the way that I went Emerald, super simple. I signed up my husband and my mom, and I needed 2 active coaches. They both signed up with Challenge Packs, so it also got me to Success Club 4. And that was, how I said I didn't hit Success Club month 1, 2, or 3. I decided to flip a switch. There was a day, and I don't often talk about this, and I shared this on a call today, and people said like, okay, I really wish I would have known that about you. I think a lot of people think that I came into this with a lot of money. I think a lot of people think that I came into this with a lot of time. I was unemployed by chance because Andre and I owned a clothing business. We still technically own it. We just don't work it because it doesn't make as much money as Beachbody, but we owned a clothing business. And I had just graduated from architecture. So I was on the job hunt. And so I was milking that job hunt as long as I could. And I had about a 3-month window. And on that 3-month window, about when I decided to get off my ass and hit Emerald, Andre called, and I had just gotten off the couch from napping in the middle of the day, and I was watching a show called The Chew. I don't know if you guys know what that is. You shouldn't know what that is. And it's like daytime TV garbage. And I had just been watching that, and I fell asleep to daytime TV, and I woke up, and he called me. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm working my business." And he was like, "You sound like you're asleep." And he said, "Your visa just went into overdraft. Do you know what that means?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "I have to pay it for you because you're not making any money with Beachbody, and furthermore, you went into the red. So I have to pay your bill because you don't have any money in your account." And that really hit home for me, guys. And I don't often share it because it's really freaking embarrassing, but I didn't have money when I started. So the whole bullshit of I don't have the money to pay for my Shakeology. If you want this thing to work, it's an investment. It's not money spent. It's an investment in yourself to grow. And so I continued on with that. And I thought, I have a choice. I can either go get a job at Starbucks to make some part-time money, or I can build a friggin' empire, and I can start it today and do it. So that's when I called my mom. And I think that my reason why became a joke or became bigger than the joke of my fear of who would judge me. Like I just saw either me working at Starbucks for the rest of my life and feeling like I had no worth and I wasn't contributing, and my husband would be helping me bury myself out of debt for the rest of my life, or I could do something. And I had it right in front of me. And it was up to me to take it by the balls and run with it, or to let it pass me by. So I saw that, and I'm glad that I saw that, but it was hard and it was super embarrassing. It's even embarrassing to admit that now, but that was my life then. Was I didn't have money, and I had to make a decision that I was going to actually have work ethic and do this and build this like a real business. So I signed up my mom. And then that's the simplest way as to how I can explain how I went Emerald. I signed up 2 people, but from there, I decided that once I went Emerald, I thought, you know what, to all the haters, I just rank advanced. I'm one coach or one challenger away from Success Club now. And it kind of gave me that posture of like, I'm doing the things and I'm going to hit Success Club this month. And I went for Success Club 10 that month, and I hit it. And I've hit it ever since then for 62 months in a row. So if you ever want to know what Million Club looks like, I just gave you the recipe. Success Club 10 for 62-ish. You could probably do it faster than me because I was a little bit of a sluggish, but Mandie will probably school me in that. But that's the recipe, is consistency over a long period of time. And so I hit Success Club 10 that month. And what I started to realize with why Emerald was this big thing, hopefully you guys all know what Emerald is by now. 2 people active, sign them up with challenge packs. You'll be at Success Club 4, and it's kind of 2 birds with 1 stone. You'll be 1 person away from Success Club that month. But what I started to realize with why it was such a big deal was income. Like, I know that it's kind of taboo to talk about income, but team cycle bonus, like I noticed, I didn't have a ton of training, by the way, as a new coach. Like, we are very lucky to have the training that we have today with the back office, with YouTube, with the team up our university. And I know Mandie has a ton of training for her team. Like, I had the national wake up call, and I tried to hack into other people's team calls and their universities and their training websites. I'm not kidding. And I succeeded. But I was determined. I wanted to be successful. And so what I started to realize was how to grow that income was really the team cycle bonus. So when I realized, I'm like, oh, I made $14 this week. Like, why? Like an extra $4. And I was like, oh, team cycle bonus. And that kept growing. And then it got to $72. And then it got to $500. And then one day it hit $1,000 from literally just sitting there. Like, that's not me signing more people up. That's my team performing and growing and growing and growing. And obviously that projection was over a long period of time. That was over like the span of a year. But if you ever want to know how do you get to $1,000 a week in your business, it's your team cycle bonus. You've got to go Emerald first. It's the most lucrative part of your business. It's literally making money while you sleep. And that's why this is the best business in the world, hands down. Any millionaire will tell you. Andre and I had the opportunity to meet a very successful man that had opened up. He has like hundreds of gyms in the United States, and he owns a house in Golden Oaks. So we met him, and he asked, what is it that you guys do, and how are you affording a $3.5 million home in Orlando, and you guys are 30 years old? And we were like, well, we work with Beachbody and we're coaches. And even then I was still like, oh my God, is this guy gonna think I'm crazy? And he was like, smart kids. He's like, you guys will work a lot less hard than I did. You have a lot more stability and a lot more potential for growth. And I was like, oh my gosh, the old really cool man thinks that I'm awesome. Yay. So to me, it was huge validation. Like, I will never forget that moment. But when I started to grow my income from rank advancing, I understood the possibility of, when I build my team, this is what's going to happen. And the effects of my team performing and doing great things for their life and growing. Am I frozen?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Is it because we're both on?
I don't think so.
Maybe I'll come back. Hopefully. Am I back?
I'm seeing it right now.
I can hop on and hop back off. I didn't want to ruin the recording though. And I'm recording. Oh my goodness. I'm still frozen.
No, you're back.
Okay, I'm good. You guys can hear me? Oh my God. That, like, of course, the one day, the other day too, I was on a call and my internet decided to our power shut off the other day. It's like, why today? Okay, we're good. And I'm still recording. We're good. Okay, good. All right. So income, team cycle bonus, hands down the most lucrative part about the business. Going Emerald is the on switch to that. It's literally you flipping the switch to turn on the most money building, the income building activity of your business. So to me, it's like double down on that. And once I understood that, it was like, cool, Emerald, Diamond, let's help people on our team succeed. And that's where I really understood that this was the best business model in the world, because it wasn't just about signing people up one and done. It was the more that they succeed, the more that all succeed. So if you help people achieve their goals, your goals will come true. And when you just focus on them and you take the attention off of yourself, meanwhile, you continue to invite. But when you start helping your Emeralds achieve their goal, that clicked for me. So team cycle bonus, you get customer leads. So I just got a report of, what my volume was in the customers that had ordered this year. And I was like, I don't even know who some of these people are. And they're customer leads. They're just ordering Shakeology or a program, or when there's a program launch, they order through me and I get commission from that. That's pretty freaking cool. So that happens. And the other thing, and this is a story that I want to share with you guys. I don't have the picture handy, but I can share it in the team group after. You know how I said that one of the biggest things that I tried to do was to invite my warm market, but I just feel like I kind of lagged at it. Once I decided to invite my warm market, I invited people like my mom and my grandmother and my brother. My brother helped me hit Success Club 10 the first month. I was at Success Club 9 and I needed him to buy Shakeology, and he did it. And like Andre's parents, Andre's mom, my friends from university, all of those, like, I think back, so scary because you know them. But a lot of them signed up. A lot of them signed up even with just a program or Shakeology or a challenge pack. And then there was one name on the list at the bottom of the list that was the scariest. And it was my sister. And everybody that has a big sister knows this pain. My sister is quite a few years older than me. She was in a totally different phase in her life. So she had kids and I didn't. She was already working like a full-time job. And there's always been like a competitive nature there. And she was also about 35 to 40 pounds above the weight that I knew that she wanted to be at. So me inviting her to a challenge group, I knew was a sore subject already. Like, hey sis, want to get fit? Cause you're not. Like, that's super awkward. So I still invited her and I was so scared, and I invited her and she responded. I did it on Facebook because I didn't have the balls to call her. And she responded, not a good time, ... maybe in the fall. Because it was in August that I invited her. And I remember like knife to the heart. I'm like, I probably made her cry. I probably hurt her feelings. And you don't want to do that as like when you're inviting people as a new coach, you don't want to do that's the last thing you want to do. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of perspective. So this is what came from that very difficult moment. 3 months later, in about October, November, she called me. I was in my closet. I feel like every good story, I'm always in my closet pacing. I don't know why. And she called me and she was crying and she was at work. And she said, I've been watching you on social media. I can see your progress. I can see your food. I can see your workouts. You look happier than ever. You look healthier than ever. I can see that you're sticking with this. I don't care what it is that you're frigging doing. Sign me up, take my credit card. And I said, well, I'm doing a program called T25. And she's like, that's what I want to do. And I said, what? But I'm drinking Shakeology. Yeah, I want that too. And I was like, okay. And she said, I don't care what it is. Just sign me up. And I need to do this and I need to change my life. And the transformation, I wish I had it in front of me. I'll try and find it while Mandie's talking. But she was such at an unhealthy, scary place. And when she lost the weight, we would go shopping together and she would look like my sister. Like we would walk side by side and I finally felt like she looked like my sister. We looked like twins. And she would bring her little kale salad with her to the food court. And like we would go shopping and I could tell she was so frigging proud because guys would check her out. And she'd be like, oh, they're not looking at you. They're looking at me like that. Do you know how proud I was of her for that? And she told me a story that she felt good to be able to play with her kids and that she couldn't keep up with them and that she just felt disgusting and that she never wanted to touch her husband and all those aspects. All for what? For me to have never invited her because I was scared that I might hurt her feelings, and to look at the trajectory of that and how 3 months later she ended up signing up. Even if it would have been a year later, I've had people that it's been a year later, that person's life is forever changed because you had a fingerprint on it. So please explain to me again why you won't invite your warm market. Because I have story after story after story just like that. I feel like the one about my sister hits home because it's my sister, but even the scariest person, it's not like you're offering them a box of lip glosses here. It's to change their life forever. It's food and fitness, real sweat. She might have left me a couple voice memos cursing at me while Shanti yelled at her. But other than that, it went really, really well. So I'll find the transformation while Mandie's talking. But you guys, that's honestly, that's the how, that's the why. And that's, all the reasons why Emerald is like, it's the first step in your business. It's that first little toe in to your business. So it's a hashtag duh. Please tell me Mandie's still on.
I'm good.
Oh, yay. Okay. I couldn't see you. I was like, oh God, she left.
Seriously, every time I hear that story, I'm like, holy goosebumps, holy reason, holy passion, holy place that we are supposed to be as coaches. And I adore stories like that just because you guys all have the ability to have those type of antidotes in your own life. And for me personally, like one of my first coaches was Danae. Danae hated Beachbody. Danae hated Beachbody programs. Danae hated the idea of she hated Shakeology. I don't know how somebody can hate Shakeology, but she did. And so she hated all these things. And she just kept saying, Mandie, you go do your thing. I'll go do my thing. Like, you go figure it out. And so I was literally like heartbroken. You see somebody with so much potential. You see so much energy towards like fitness. She loved fitness. She loved working out. She loved posting her freaking muscle shirt, whatever bullshit. And I loved it. And I was like, oh my goodness, this girl, the one that I like share my life with, cannot even get on board with something that is fueling my soul to its extreme. And this point, I was already a 2-star diamond coach. And Danae was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it, And still, I'm like, what the hell? And so even you guys now see Danae, and she's flourishing in the business. She loves and adores this business. She thinks Angie and Andre are the best humans on the planet. She literally, I was talking to the other day, I said, Danae, what do you want to do with your life? She said, I just want to change other people's. Like, that's what I want to do. I'm so fueled by what we do as coaches. And not only have this platform, but this opportunity to just pay it forward is such a beautiful thing. So we have these conversations all the time, and it really came down to me saying, Danae, you're signing up as a coach. I'm going to pay for you. I don't care really what you say, but I'm just going to use your social security number. Like, you don't have to coach with me. You don't have to do anything. But it was her seeing me repetitively be a coach over and over again. And that was one of the ways that I was an Emerald coach for a long time, is through Danae. So it was because my first invitation was to my best friend. And I said, Cassidy, I'm working out right now. I don't really know how this is going to go. I think the Beachbody thing could be really awesome. And I invited her that way. I said, do you want to do it with me? Do you want to work out with me? And she's like, Mandie, sure. Like, let's work out together. And she was kind of iffy. She never even actually opened programs. She didn't even really drink or Shakeology, but she was my first supporter. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys today about, is to get people on board with you because they're supporting you. You don't have to have the next Angie on your team. You don't have to have the next Mandie on your team. You don't have the next you on your team necessarily right out of the gates. Your business is going to build over time, but Emerald is your starting point. And it's your job to create that momentum from the start. So think about that. Think about just who you can invite. Think about who you can pay it forward to. Think about how you want to start your business. So again, I got into this business originally quite the contrary of Angie. I was working a corporate job that I hated. I was working 80 hours a week, literally the most soul-sucking POS that I've ever been through in my life. And you guys, literally, there's a Thai story, but I won't even get into the Thai story. But there's just been so many things of how much bigger and bolder I wanted to live. And I used to watch Angie. I used to be like, oh, that girl. That girl is doing that thing. She lives in the house. And even after I signed up as coach and I said, oh, it's just Angie is magical. Angie can do all these things. Angie is capable, And then I found YouTube, where I saw all of her original videos. I saw her original Instagram things. And then I started talking to her and realizing Angie is a real person. Angie has had to grow into the version of a person that she is today. And that's where it kind of hit home for me, is that we don't sign up as a go-getter. You don't sign up as somebody that's just going to thrive in the business. There are those, every once in a while you have a coach and they sign up and all of a sudden they go diamond in a month, and that is absolutely possible and amazing. But we aren't somebody that is just going to flourish. You have to morph yourself into somebody that you want to be every single day, right? So that's personal development, that's actively sharing your journey, but that's also falling in love with the ability that you have an opportunity in front of you to grow something of your own into whatever magnitude that is possible. It really comes down to how hard you want to work. So a couple of things that I would just want to hit home before I go into the conversation tips is that Emerald for me was the reality of this business being a real business. I saw a paycheck, I saw a rank advancement, and I also saw a promotion, or not a promotion, what is it called? A recognition post. And so once I saw that recognition post, I'm like, Angie knows who I am. I have an income, and I also have some people underneath me, and there's a foundation there. There are people under there. And that just feeling alone when I went Emerald was enough for me to see that this was real. And before I went Emerald, I was like, I don't really know what the heck I'm doing. I don't really believe in this very much. But it really came down to me either going to be buying in wholeheartedly or me just not, it was going to be a decision. It's going to be a choice whether or not I'm going to do this, or I'm going to just talk a big game and not do it, or just, I don't know, be mediocre, for lack of a better word. And so I decided to turn it on. And that was inviting my mom and inviting my best friend. And then I was a challenger coach for a long time. I would not suggest that because I didn't understand the magnitude of what a team feels like. I also didn't understand what it felt like to be a part of something bigger than yourself, when you become not only the leader to a team, but also a leader to other leaders. And that's the beautiful thing about this business, is you're not just creating people underneath you that kind of do the same thing as you, but you're creating other people that own their own business. That's such a wonderful thing. Being able to sit down with people like Angie, or top coaches on the team, and so many coaches that I've talked to on this team, it's so amazing to be able to just talk about like-minded goals. And so I'm going to get into how do I actually get there? Mandie, what the hell do I do to talk to these people? What do I say? How do I get people on board that don't even want to coach? I just need them on my downline. What do I do? So I'm going to share these conversation pieces with you guys, and Angie, we can share it in team coaches. Totes fine. Totes my goats. So there's a couple of ways you can do this, and I'll kind of go into First, the support me. And Angie was talking about our mom. Angie was talking about also signing up Andre. They're supporters. My mom is a supporter. My best friend is more of like a warm market. But those are the people that are going to support you. They're not signing up to actively be a coach. They're not signing up to actually go sell programs. But they're signing up just as somebody underneath you so they can support you. So reaching out to those people as supporters is going to change the way that they view them signing up for you rather than them signing up for themselves. So reach out to your warm market or your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you want that is not going to actively work the business, but can be somebody that uses the programs and products and just sees you flourishing in the business. So this is a good way or an example of how you can reach out to these people and how they can just be your supporters. So this is just what I say. So as you know, I just started this new business and fitness venture, and I'm so excited about it. There's a team that is more supportive than I could ever imagine, and we work together to help inspire others. I would love if you could support my new journey and sign up as a coach with me. Don't worry, you don't have to work the business, but it just helps me hit my first milestone, and so I can start to gain momentum. You will also get access to the workout shakes by supporting me. Hey, it's win-win, so what do you say? So simple, so natural, and so just kind of easy going rather than, hey, do you think you can purchase this challenge pack because I think I go to this next rank. If you go to somebody and you're like, hey, I'm on a mission, I'm convicted by something that I really find really amazing, and I found this new kind of opportunity and I'm excited to kickstart it, would you get on board with me just to support me? You don't have to do it. You don't have to work by my side. You don't have to do anything other than just support me. And hey, if you get some shakes and end up working out with me, it's going to be fun. And so that message right there gets a lot of the people that you can control their accounts later on. It's just gets your start to your business rolling. So first is your support me people. That's going to be, again, your mom, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, the people that are not going to actively work the business. My support me was my mom, my best friend, and then Danae. And then here's to both warm market and cold market conversation tips. So your warm market's going to be anybody. You guys, people get so confused about who warm market is. Your warm market is anybody that knows that you are a human being. Your warm market is not somebody that you know personally that you've had 10 meals with and everyone else are just like cold market. But a warm market individual is somebody that knows that you are a human. That could even be somebody that is friends with a friend of a friend that knows you're an actual person. Those are your warm market people. So you can reach out to them and say, hey girl, oh my God, I'm so freaking excited about this new journey I started. You would die with the amount of love and support my team shows us. And the fact that we're working out, eating well, and paying it forward blows my mind. Why don't you do it with me? Like, let's do this together. I don't want to be alone. Let's do this damn thing together. And I love this type of way to reach out to somebody because then you're actively doing something better for not only yourself, but for that person together and collectively. It's not like, hey, will you be one of my coaches? Or hey, will you sign up under me? Or hey, I need you to sign up under me because it gets me something. But how about we go into this community, the support group, and this type of opportunity together so we can both better ourselves. And that's another just way to kind of approach this. And another one is, hey girl, so I started this new journey where I do workout programs, eat healthy, and support others along the way. And I was writing down a list of people that I think would be really good at this, and you were the first name that popped in my head. Do you think you'd want to join me on this journey? This is one of the Angie's like original messages I ever saw. And I was like, wait, this is gold. Like, this is actually true, one. And two, like, this is so easy to talk to the people that are, it's almost, I get this like black, like where you're so timid to approach these people, but you really want to work with them and you want to work by your side. So that's another way. And then if you have a program that you just absolutely are loving, say the 80 Campus session or Live For, whatever it may be, you can even target it that way. Or like the last point, it says, Cassidy girl, I just did day 3 of a booty workout and I'm dead. It's the best way possible. You have to try it. Do you want to do it with me? I can get you a discounted package so we can be hot mamas for the summer together. Like, so fun. Talk to these people like your best friends and you guys can just actively do this thing together. And that's just kind of your warm market. You guys don't have to go about anybody like this, but these are just kind of examples of how you can talk to people. Some of your cold market opportunities and ways you can converse with people is through people with social media, and it just says, hey babe, so I watched your journey. I've been watching your journey for a while, and first off, let me just tell you, you slay. I love all your vibes and good energy. I have to ask you your thought about coaching. You guys, there's been about 10, 100 people that I've sent this out to, and I've had a lot of great conversations and a lot of not right nows and a lot of later signups. And even if you're sending out 20, 30 of these a day just to get people understanding that you have an opportunity to provide for them, you're doing something good for your business. Even if they don't sign up right now, these cold market invites are amazing ways to just kind of cut the ice, And so the next one is, girl, you need to join my team. Oh my God, you would kill life doing what I do. Please tell me you've ever thought about it before. And just, again, so vague, but let's just start a conversation. Let's start moving and grooving in our business. And even, again, if these people don't sign up today, those are people that you're warming up into your market that might follow you and really just be inspired by your journey and all of that. So I'm actually not going to go into the last one because I can't unshare this. Why is this not working? But one thing I just want to say is that through all of these types of conversations, you guys, through all of them only work is if you're convicted about what we're doing. If you go to people and you're approaching people and you're really timid or you're really shy, you really just are hesitant about the actual opportunity in front of you, people are going to read right through that. People are going to understand that you don't really believe in what you're saying. But if you go after them and you're like, I just got out of an information session, or I just talked to a girl about this opportunity, or I just got so excited about being able to pay it forward because I see the passion that other people in this business have. I see the opportunity. I see the potential. If you come at people like that, they're like, hell yeah, what are you doing? Let me have some of it. Whatever you're drinking, I'll drink it too. Those people are going to get excited with you instead of just being like, you don't sound excited, so why would I be excited? And so really, really understanding that your conviction about this opportunity is going to be where you're going to get people on board when it comes to Emerald. And that's going to be your tipping point. That's going to be your tipping point in your emotional side of the business. That's going to be your tipping point of how your business accelerates from day one. That's going to be the tipping point of you just kind of thinking about the business every single day. Your mind has to be right. Your workers have to be on spot, and your job is to pay it forward. So why not start now? Why wait to go Emerald? Why wait to go Diamond? Why wait to start the momentum in your business? Is if you signed up was to pay it forward, And so if you think about this every single time and you think about, maybe I'll just go Emerald next week, or maybe I'll go Diamond next week, or maybe I'll figure it out later, Why? Why are you going to put your goals, prolong them? Why are you going to put your goals into somebody else's hands? Why are you going to move your goals to the side? Why are you going to do that to yourself? Honestly, ask yourself, why is it for later? Because all you're saying, if you don't want to sign up your warm market or reach out to people or start your business, that just means you don't take this business seriously enough. It doesn't mean you take yourself seriously enough. And it also means that you're not willing to put in the work to create the life of your dreams. And so you'll hear myself, Angie, some of the top coaches, Melanie Mitro, any of the top coaches in the business that saying that this is hard work, but it really comes down, it's not really hard. It just is getting over the uncomfortability. It's being uncomfortable for a little second and just being okay with that and progressing and proceeding over that every single day. And you have to make the decision every single day. So going Emerald is just a stepping stone. It's not a huge deal, even though I'm going to praise the hell out of you if you do, even though I'm going to shout you from the rooftop if you do, even though I'm going to literally high five you and maybe kiss you on the mouth if you do. But so many heads turned to us. But really, it comes down to it's amazing step, but it's only a step. It's not the turning business. It's not going to be you go Emerald and all of a sudden your business is going to explode. It's just where you start. And if you guys are willing to make this thing work, that's where you have to start. That's how you're going to start. And it's with those conversations. It's with finding your voice. And my last kind of point, you guys, I know a lot of people are like, Mandie, I don't know how to talk about the business. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to approach people and say, oh, I just love this business when I don't even know what workout programs Beachbody has to offer. Well, let me ask you, and you should write this down, you guys. Write it down. Why did you sign up? What made you say yes? Was it Angie's life? Was it the lifestyle? Was it the workout programs that you saw, the transformations? Was it the people that you're surrounded with? What do you value in this business right now? Like right now, not what you think you should value, not what you heard Angie values, not what you heard your upline values, but what right now do you value in this business? And that is where your voice is created. That's where you understand why you want to go emerald. That's why you understand why you want to go diamond, why you push yourself outside of those limits, and what's going to make you become more uncomfortable every single day just to get to that comfort level. So this business seems seamless. It's those things that you value in this business are what's going to be your driving force behind the voice that you create for yourself. Some of the things that I talk about in the business are nothing close to what Angie talks about, or Gabby talks about, or Danae talks about, or Taylor talks about, just because the things that I value in my life is so different. Because I'm different. Every single one of you is different. And that's what you're selling. You're selling yourself as a coach. You're selling yourself as a mentor. You're also selling yourself as a partner in the business. You are somebody's partner. You get to work together. You get to build together. You get to grow together. So be that person, but be open to understanding and knowing what you value, how you can become better every single day, and how you can pay it forward. Because this business is literally a pay it forward business, 100%. And if you are not willing to pay it forward and reach out to people and literally be that voice that the people need to hear, then you're not doing your job. So Emerald, again, is just a stepping stone, you guys. It shouldn't be the biggest freaking thing in the world. It shouldn't actually get you so overwhelmed that you don't do anything. It should just be a must. 2 weeks, give yourself if you're a branding coach, give yourself 2 weeks maximum. Give yourself 10 hours, like now. Like, you guys can go sign up as many people as you want. Literally, if I was anybody sitting on the other side of the screen right now and I was like, you know what, I hate my job, or I need to build stronger and bigger, or I need to do this, I need to do this, my momentum would seriously go out of the roof, and I'd be like, I don't care, somebody give me your social security number, I will sign you up with 50 BB. That's how I feel about the business, and that's how I've always felt about my life, is that it's going to be yours once you take control. Your life is going to be yours once you take control. Think about that. Your life is going to be yours once you take control, and you have to do it every single day. It's not easy. It's not going to be just a walk in the park. This business is not going to ever be easy. You have to go over the hurdles. You have to reach out to people. You have to make the things a must instead of a maybe. And that's where this business will explode. You guys, I would love to just open it up for like small questions, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys with, well, what do I say with this? Or how do I send a share cart? You guys go to YouTube. But if you guys have specific just anxiety, or like you don't know how to deal with something, like, ask us. This is the time, and then we can close it off and you guys can go sign up and become Emerald. Cool?
One of the questions was, if I sign up my spouse, do I sign them with a challenge pack? I wrote yes, yes, yes. So that would put you at Success Club 2. So yes. So if you sign up 2 people to go Emerald, you'd be at Success Club 4. So you're 1 point away from Success Club. So #duh. And then you earn the commission from that. Really quickly, what I was going to say as we get questions, I think that a good way to close out this call would be to share, because I do this on the wake-up call sometimes, how has your life changed since starting coaching Mandie, Kaii? We can answer questions and go that way, because usually it's like very eye-opening to people.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So you want me to just answer that?
Let's get all these questions out. I want to get to Diamond status so bad, but I'm having anxiety about getting to Emerald. Momentum, dude. I feel like once you start and you start building your team and really understand that it's 2 people to get to Emerald, and then 8 people, 12 total to get to Diamond, it's nothing crazy. Like, back then, whenever I first went for the 2 people, I was like, I thought I was going to die. And looking back now with a team of 6,000, I would be like, oh, I should have done that sooner. So it's really a perspective thing. It's like, are you in this for the long run or not?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, I think Emerald is a decision. Like, you guys are in control, period. You guys all have people that will support you. You guys all have people that you can either sign up. You all have people that you can talk to. There's a billion, bajillion people in the world, and there's a bajillion people that love fitness. So you guys don't have excuses.
To Steffi's question, what if your friend is not sure if she wants to coach or not? Should we still choose coach when signing them up? Does she enjoy getting healthy and fit for a cheaper price? Yes. So I would say yes. Done. Nailed it.
Yes.
Yes, I would say yes.
Caitlin said, I feel like I can't reach out until I get my own results. Caitlin, I'm sorry, but that's the worst excuse. And I'm not saying excuse, but that's the worst mindset. We have such a wonderful, I mean, you're a coach right now before you have any results, right? You're a coach that is signed up with no results. I was a coach with no results. I was 25 pounds heavier. I was literally the least fit of my life when I became a coach, but it really comes down to, I want to do this with you. I want to pay it forward with you. I want to be able to kind of express this opportunity to other people. I understand that it's really hard. It's really emotionally hard, and you don't feel good enough to reach out to people when you don't have your own results. But you also have an opportunity that you can do it with people. You know, people are they'll value you more if you're the most vulnerable. And you guys were literally going ham when Angie was talking about the most vulnerable times in her life and in this business. And that's what seems relatable. And watching her journey transpire is where people are going to get inspired by you.
You're blessed. Like, you're lucky you have a journey that you can take people on. You're not it's boring. So there's top coaches that are like 6-pack, 20-pack abs. They're boring to follow. People look at them and it's like, cool, awesome. Where are you going to take me on this journey? You're not relatable. Like, if you're a human helping other humans, that's what makes it so relatable. So be vulnerable. To the question about how to run your challenge groups, my question back would be, how far have you gotten in the new coach training? Because that would be step number 1 to do your new coach training. So there is challenge groups, like team challenge groups, available to everybody. That should be like step number 1 to get in there, to know how to run them. But that's all available within the Team Upper University and Mandie's training. She has that too for her coaches. So everybody should have that. And then N. Russell asked, if you've sent out messages, how long do you wait for the follow-up? 3 days. And don't over-rotate on the same person.
Yeah, I would just, it's natural conversations. You guys, don't overthink the conversations, because if you have conversations where people can feel like your intentions are, I need you, rather than can I help you, that's where you become more salesy. That's where your business becomes less authentic. And that's where you start losing sight of why you're here. So if you can really think of, how can I help you? How can you help you? How can I help you? And I just want to pay it forward. That's the authenticity of your business. And you will literally thrive like a mother trucker if that is always the sole heart of your business.
Jenna asked a really good question, said, can you please explain why it's okay to have a discount coach, or why a discount coach is okay to have? The best answer I could give you is, I could name 5 out of the top 10 coaches that started out as discount coaches. So you could potentially have a top 10 coach in your downline right now and you don't know. It's a great segue. It's like literally the introduction to being a coach if someone isn't okay with it. And I kind of like calling it like a VIP client. Like, it's just an interim to becoming coach. You don't have to call it a coach. You can call it like a VIP member or whatever you want to call it. But I know for a fact, Melanie Mitro, who's top coach 3-4 years in a row, was a discount coach to begin with. So if that's not reason enough, like, it's right there. And I was technically kind of a discount coach whenever I first started. It made me feel better. How long until you guys hit diamond? It's about the same. Me and Mandie. Well, when you started working. Are you laughing at how long it took you to hit diamond?
Yeah.
But when you flipped the switch, you did it. How long did you hit diamond?
Almost 8-9 months.
That's fine. That's normal.
No. Okay. The thing is, though, is I was mortified by reaching out to people about coaching. Like, I was like pretending like I didn't have a coaching opportunity for the longest. And that was like, I was doing myself an injustice. And I was also, when I started doing like, oh, I want to build my team, people were like, well, what are you talking about? You know, so I was really doing myself an injustice. So if you come out of the woodwork saying that you have an opportunity to help others, and you have like 2 funnels, and it's very straightforward that you have 2 funnels, your business will grow faster.
I signed up on May 31st and I hit diamond on August 31st. So do the math on that. I have no idea. What is that? Couple months. I don't know. And I didn't do anything for my first 3 months. So everyone has a different story. Some people, it takes them 2 years and then they become a top coach. So no matter what your story is, the sooner you get to it, the faster your business will grow.
Yeah, but also in relation to that, though, is I didn't take the business seriously for the first handful of months. When I took the business seriously is when I went to Ottawa, Canada, and met Angie and was on the retreat and stopped comparing myself. And then the next month I went diamond. So it really was in a month from when I started actually working the business.
Do you have any suggestions for personal development? I'm still up at the top of the chat, so I can't see what Andre's writing. Do you have any suggestions for personal development, Mandie, like your favorite?
Oh my goodness, so many. Tony Robbins, everything.
Yeah, Tony Robbins, everything. I agree.
literally inject him in your soul. Mel Robbins. It depends on what you need in your life. And that's something important. Don't just listen to things to listen to things, listen to things with purpose. And that's what I would always tell every single coach. If you need to become a better human, or you need to be able to think better, there's a certain type of personal development for everything that you need. I mean, sometimes I do business strategy, sometimes I do life strategy, sometimes I do fitness strategy, it just depends. I do have an entire list of personal development, and I think that no matter who you listen to, you can always learn from.
A lot of people who ask about the products I use on social media, and then when I talk to them, there's no response. How do I go about introducing them without being salesy? I would ask how much you're using the products. Like, I literally pour my Shakeology and make my Shakeology every single day on Instagram stories. And from that, I get sales through Instagram stories. So when Pumpkin Spice Shakeology launched yesterday, that was how I was converting, I was having meaningful conversations with the people that actually watch me using the product. So it's not like, I heard this example as a new coach, and I think it's perfect. It would be like going to someone's house who's always talking about how awesome her Mary Kay lip gloss is, and you go into her washroom, it's all Sephora, and you're like, Kay, liar. So if you're not using Shakeology, if you're not eating the beach bars, if you're not using the boosts, if you're not drinking Energize, like, you guys, look at my Energize cuppy. How freaking cute is it? There's a shit ton of Energize in here. Like, I use the products. I do my workouts on Beachbody On Demand. And when you start to just share the day-to-day journey, that's why I said, like, you're blessed. If you're on a journey, you are so friggin' lucky that you're not at the end of your result and it's not boring. So when you share that, the day-to-day, that's what's interesting. And people are like, I want whatever she has. And that's how you get to that point of being an influencer, where you're sharing that on social media from the day to day, and people get to trust you to a certain amount where they're literally like, just take my credit card. I want whatever you're doing, because it's obviously working.
100%. I love that. Somebody asked, how do you talk around the $15 fee? First of all, if somebody's worried about a $15 fee, and
to Starbucks,
in retrospect, how much do you believe in the opportunity? Like that's just what I think of. Is if you believe in the opportunity, if you think about the $15 fee is going to be like the worst thing for them. If they are buying Shakeology, they're still getting a discount. If they're a brand new coach and they're actually wanting to work the business and they're worried about a $15 fee, I'm like, well, sell a challenge pack. Like, I mean, that is so incremental to actually what we do. And so if you really just focus on worrying about that instead of just saying like, hey, there's a $15 fee, and also the value of a $15 fee, you're covering legalities, you're covering all of your accounting, you're covering all of the training, you're covering so many more things than any type of just personal trainer on social media gets. And so literally for $15, you're getting legal coverage. Go try to find that as a personal trainer on Instagram. You can't. Yeah. Sorry.
And all of your websites and customer service. And having been someone that owned her own business, that really sucked to have to deal with that. Shipping, customer service, returns, and websites. Whoa, donkey.
Yeah. As a website design and developer, running websites for e-commerce is literally the death of you. So just say thank you, give them a high five, and be like, girl, I got you.
Any other questions that you can see that we missed?
I don't think so. People worried about sharing their social security number. Oh, I get this question kind of not frequently, but like people do ask me, and all I say is, hey girl, we just got to make sure you're a real person. Yeah. That's literally how I answer that, because it really comes down to, we got to make sure you're a real person so you can get paid.
I should have mentioned that in my story about my mom. So how I said that my mom is in law, that's what she was freaked out about. So in Canada, you need a SIN number, a social security number in the States. And she was like, why do you need my SIN number? Are you stealing my identity? I'm like, no, mom, it's actually the opposite. They want to make sure that you're a real person. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you apply, like I worked in a grocery store with Andre when we were younger, they needed my social security number as my SIN number to pay me, to make sure that I was a verified human with the government. That's all that it is. And I'm sorry, Beachbody $1 billion company doesn't need your information. They're not going to steal your information. So that's usually how I answer it, which is a little bit less nice, but that's what I say, because it's just true.
No, definitely. I mean,
just sugarcoat that and make that sound nicer.
Angie, do you want to share how Beachbody is changing up?
Okay. And if there's any, like, I just saw a question, like, how do you overcome the objection questions if it's like a pyramid scheme or whatever? First of all, that's illegal. And I have a list of, like, in a document in the Team Upper University of all those objections, including that one and how we answer it. So all of that, it's too much money. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. Is this one of those scammy things? Like, I have all the answers to that because it happens. So the best way I can tell you to answer those questions is feel, felt, found. I felt the same way, or I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, and this is what I found. And just go back to how you felt when you first signed up and what you found now, and just speak from the heart, like Mandie said, like talk like a human. Yeah, to close this out, I feel like we've done a lot of tangible stuff, and I just want you guys to be able to understand that Emerald and Diamond literally are, like Mandie said, like the stepping stones to get to that place where you quit your full-time job that you hate, or the day in, day out. Like I didn't have a full-time job, but I was struggling and I hated that lack of worth that I had. And looking at that place that I was at 5 years ago, like literally to the day to now, is astronomical. Like around this time 5 years ago, I had started to make a paycheck and I was making about $50 to $75 a week. And that's literally quadrupled bazillioned over the past 5 years. And I never thought that I would live this life. And I shared this on a team call today. And I remember as a new coach, I told Andre, I was like, can I really make like actual money with Beachbody? And he said, yes. I was like, can we fly first class when we work Beachbody? And he was like, yes. And I said, well, can we fly private when we hit? And that's like to the level that I didn't understand how much money we could make. And the answer is yes to both. Like the amount of money that can be made, you can out earn the super trainers. And I know that a lot of us, we look up to the super trainers, and the truth is a lot of top coaches, we out earn them tenfold. And I don't think that it's always taken as seriously because we're in our homes hustling behind a computer. But you guys, I will be forever friggin' grateful that I picked up Insanity 5 years ago and I decided to press play on that. And I saw a coach video and I found an upline on Instagram and I said yes. But not only did I say yes, I jumped in. Like I literally did a trust fall and I went Emerald and I understood that momentum. And 5 years later, I am literally sitting here as an entirely different person that will probably live longer, is happier in her marriage. Do you guys know, like, the amount of divorces in America and Canada because of financial stress and just never seeing each other? Like, we're both home together all day and we are happy that way. And we're 30 some years old. Like that's unheard of. And we are normal people and you guys can see that. So to think that I could have, given up and thrown in the towel when I didn't hit Success Club that first month or that second month and I didn't make a sale. But I decided that day that Andre called me and said, like, what have you done? Like, what have you done lately? And are you going to do this thing? And I decided to treat this like a real business. Like that changed my world. So every time that I see a coach like Jenna that just commented that quit their job, like Mandie, that's why I do what I do. It's to help other people achieve that same level of like, okay, I've got this and I can frigging do this. And then where you end the day and you're like, I'm frigging proud of what I did. Like that, a lot of people don't feel that. They come home from their 9 to 5 and they're drained and they hate their frigging life. Like you have the ability to have that life. So before I start crying, Mandie's turn.
Oh my goodness. I think that last point was like why I started this. I mean, I wanted something so bad that I was proud of doing, and I don't mean to say this, like I'm not boasting right here, but I had a very expensive education at a private school and I literally should have been on top of the world when I got a senior position as a marketing personnel. And I should have been on top of the world and I should have felt so fulfilled and I should have felt like I was like a 23-year-old that has absolutely made it. And then I didn't. And I was like, wait, I just got this education. I just landed a senior marketing position and I was the website design and developer for a huge corporation, like the head, like the senior. And so you look at that as a 23-year-old and you're like, Mandie, you've made it. You're doing it. You're literally slaying. I'm like, slaying what? Like, what am I slaying? Because I don't feel good. Like, I don't feel good in my own skin. I actually gained 25 pounds sitting in my office chair every single day, stressing out. I would literally wake up to the dark and then drive home to the dark. And I was actually talking about this today on my Instagram. And it's just so true. There's so much just societal expectations to do the 9 to 5, to do the norm, and just live your life after 65, like that's when you start living and get to be like free of all these things. And so I finally said I've had enough and I started working freelance. And I don't even know if Angie knows this, but before I started coaching, I started working freelance marketing because I wanted to just be a freelancer because I wanted to work for myself so bad. And I wanted to create something that I was proud of. I wanted to have the like creative freedom to create pretty things because the corporate ideas of how a website looked wasn't Mandie pretty. Like it just wasn't. And so I was so passionate about being able to create something that I was proud of. And once I found this opportunity and once I saw people like Angie loving their life, and I was just like, why not me? You know, for a long time, I actually said, well, it's never going to be me. But then I got to a point where I said, why not me? Like, why not me? And even if I would have loved my corporate job, even if I would have loved everything I was doing, I still wasn't living my fullest life. I wasn't able to make more money than like a marketing person. You know, marketing people make under $100,000, and I was making good money at 23. And I should have been proud of myself. And I was proud of myself for making that achievement, but I just still didn't feel fulfilled, you know? And so when I was able to dive into this business and really understand that I have now a purpose, I have the ability to not only help myself and feel good about what I was doing on an everyday basis, but also I have the ability to pay it forward, you know? In a corporate job, you can't pay it forward. You can help the people in your office. You can help your corporate mission. You can help the CEO get to wherever he wants to go, but you cannot help other people's actual lives. You know, we help people become healthy. We help people literally live bigger. We help people get out of some emotional nutcase ruts. You know, like I've helped so many people that have come to me like, Mandie, I just fought some serious depression. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And those are the kind of messages that literally are gut wrenching, but are so worth it. And so this business has transformed the way I feel about myself, my worth, my reason, my purpose. And also I literally finally found something that I feel good about. Not only feel good about what I'm doing on an everyday basis, but I feel good about working my ass off. You know, I feel good about working 16 hours sometimes. I feel good about literally waking up early to send out messages or staying up super late to create trainings, whatever that may be. It's fun for me. And so thinking about how this has transformed my business, one, physically, I've lost 25 pounds being a coach. I wouldn't be this version of myself. I was scared. I was terrified. I was terrified of public opinion. I was terrified of letting myself down. I was terrified of never being good enough. I was terrified of what my life was going to look like. And this has given me like the place of home. Like I feel at home, you know, I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And this is literally how I can live my life to its fullest. And being able to now pay it forward to Danae, who was going to live in Alabama for the rest of her life. And I don't mean to get emotional here, but she was going to live in Alabama as a gay woman, hated by a lot of people she was around. And I don't mean to get emotional, but that's something that has been so true to my journey. Like that wouldn't be possible for us. We wouldn't be able to move to California without this opportunity. And just as large as that may be in my life, the small little things of you guys being able to stay at home with your kids or travel with your family or buy your kids something or just feel better about who you are and what you've done on this earth is reason enough. So that's just kind of my story, and it only goes up from here, right? You know, like we only have more people to help. And so just thinking with all that, like you guys are enough. You are here for a reason. Pay it forward because you do have a purpose, and make sure that you're doing this because you have good intentions. If you're out here just to sell people with commission, you're in the wrong place. But if you're here to pay it forward with a good heart and a good soul and a place where you just want to become better, you're going to thrive.
I was going to say more stuff, but now I feel like that was amazing and I don't want to. And I would cry. Honestly, you guys, there's no difference between what we've shared in our story and what you can achieve. Like, you should be asking yourself, like, I can outdo them. I can do this. And there's no difference. Why not you? Like, and what we would want to see is that you guys rank advanced by Wednesday night and that becomes official in the back office. And just to touch on what Mandie said, without getting emotional, think about the ripple effect of your decisions. If I had never invited Mandie, she would have never not invited Danae, met Danae, and Danae would not be in her life. So think about that. So that's the decisions that you make by staying quiet and not sharing the opportunity. And I am so lucky to have these two humans in my life, and I love them to pieces. So we will end the call there.
I love you, Angie.
I love
and
you.
if you guys didn't know, I did meet Danae because I invited her to the coaching opportunity, and that's how we met. So that's how we got together, and that's how we fell in love. And thank you, coaching. You guys go out there and slay live.
Seriously, no one needs online dating. You have coaching. All right. We love you guys. All right. Now that we've all cried, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will have the recording up in 2.5 seconds. Bye, dude.
Bye, guys.